to me.
Information, news, and entertainment on demand.
WSRadio.com.
Welcome to The Changing Stage, music gear talk from the manufacturers and musicians who define the biz. Here's your host, Florentino Buenaventura.
That's right. It's the Changing Stage radio show powered by WS Radio Networks, the worldwide leader in internet talk radio. And we are brought to you by SIR Music Equipment Rental and, of course, our fun friends over at Pitbull Audio, where they just want you to play it loud and you can get all your great gear. And like always, we've got a tremendous show today. In fact, it's a big one because it crosses multiple types of industries, from music to business coaching and the like. We've got Mr. Freddie Ravel. Freddie, you there?
Hi, Florentino.
Hey, how are you doing, sir?
I'm doing wonderful, man. It's good to be with you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for agreeing to be on the show. This is going to be a tremendous show because you are a man of many talents. You're kind of a renaissance man in the music business. You've been doing, music for quite a few years. You've worked with icons like Earth, Wind and Fire, Sergio Mendes, Al Jarreau, Prince, India RE, even getting to the classical with Yo-Yo Ma, and of course the great Quincy Jones and the Boston Pops, Madonna. I mean, the list goes on, right? You're just incredible, and you've got some new things coming up. Do you have time to breathe? I guess my first question.
Oh, my brother. You know what? It is a busy life, but I think I got to tell you, let me answer it this way. Without music, I wouldn't breathe very well.
Yeah. Hey, I'm with you. We're all kind of
you know
music
what I'm
lovers
saying?
here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, hey, let's start where you first took a breath in this music business and how you kind of got yourself started down this road that you've been going down.
Sure. Well, I mean, if you want to start from the beginning, or I'll give you kind of the cliff notes. The cliff notes is I got into music at the age of 7.
Okay.
And I was, believe it or not, grew up in a house with a mother from Colombia.
Okay.
Who always played the cumbia, because that's the national dance of Colombia.
Yeah.
And my mom is an infectious knowledge person with lots of cultural roots ranging from South America, and she speaks multiple languages. So I was around my mother's energy, and then this was right with my dad, who is Eastern European from the Bronx, and he played Stravinsky and Beethoven in the house.
Okay.
So our house had this Eastern European music going on, classical music, coupled with a lot of rhythms out of Latin America.
Wow.
And the first instrument that I ended up landing on was the accordion, of all things.
Yeah, hey.
And
that's big. That's a big one. That's the start of keyboards, right? You got at least a couple you've got a few keys there. So,
a few keys.
Yeah, and so you started with that, and obviously with cumbia, that's a big instrument. And then how did you transition into actually being the magnificent keyboardist that you are?
Well, thank you. I stayed with the accordion until about 9, and then I found the instrument a bit cumbersome. It was hard for me to practice after 9. It was big. I didn't like it as much to my body. I didn't, it just wasn't as comfortable. And I became more of a normal kid. I mean, I had paper routes. I played baseball. And then I heard Herbie Hancock, Chick Corea, Oscar Peterson, these amazing pianists that were just hitting the scene in a very big way, late 60s, early 70s, in terms of their impact on the music world. And I might add Stevie Wonder in there too, because this music these keyboard players were producing just blew my mind. I was like, I got to figure out what these people are doing. And I just went on the quest. I got so inspired by what they were doing that I started practicing the piano 9-10 hours a day.
Wow.
And
that's intense for sure.
It was intense. And I realized I just wanted to do that. I had such a deep desire. And so that really set me on my quest for the piano, and I decided to major in classical piano and composition at Cal State University Northridge, and went through that program there, which at the time was one of the top programs in the country, and right in the heart of a lot of the Hollywood television scene, which when I was growing up was a vibrant scene where musicians were having truly full-time careers. That those who could get into the studio business and work on television shows. And I aimed to do that and ended up playing on the show Fame, another show called Airwolf.
Yeah.
I was working with people, that were in the Tonight Show band. And I was 22, 23 years old. And at that point, I ran into a great percussionist by the name of Ron Powell, who at the time was playing with Sergio Mendes. And he liked what I was doing, and he went to Sergio and said, "You know what? You should give this kid Freddie a chance." And so
networking, man.
Next thing I knew, I was at Sergio Mendes' studio, practicing, playing with the band, and within a few weeks, I had an airline ticket to Singapore in Malaysia, and I was playing in the band.
Wow, that must have been that time when he had. Hopefully I got the name of the song right. Never Gonna Let You Go, the pop that he came out with.
Absolutely right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and never gonna let you go. Gonna hold you in my arms forever.
I remember it well. Yeah, great song.
It's a great song, and I think it's Robbie Buchanan was one of the writers on that, and Joe Pizzullo was the singer. And I have to tell you, to me, that is not a song that is indicative of Sergio Mendes.
No, it wasn't his style normally.
In any shape or form. In fact, it's really just a beautiful, classic kind of 80s ballad.
Yeah, it was.
However, important. The footnote that's important to share with your listeners is that Sergio was very smart about how he presented his music commercially, and he always had his finger on the pulse. He wanted to make sure that he had music that was relevant to the audience. And then he would always have music that was for the art, So he would tell me, he said, "Freddie, this one is for the bank, and this one is for the art." And the one for the art would be a lot more obscure. They might even be in Portuguese. They would never stand a chance of getting major airplay on American radio, but he still would put it on the record so that he would make his artistic statement. So back then, at that age, I was kind of around this, a man who really understood the strategy of how you record music and how you put it out there.
That's amazing. It's definitely a different market today, for sure.
Very different. Very different.
As we've moved on, and you just had such an incredible list of people and that you've worked with. Kind of give us one of those stories that just kind of pops out to your mind. That's kind of a fun anecdote that just shares kind of a behind the velvet rope there for the listeners.
Sure. There's a lot of them, but maybe one of the ones that comes to mind is I had the great honor of serving as the musical director for not only Earth, Wind, and Fire, but Al Jarreau. And Al Jarreau is a fascinating artist because he's the only artist in the world that has won a Grammy in jazz, R&B, and pop. He's the only one. There's no other artist that's done that. And he's an amazing singer, a bit of a force of nature. We are still very good friends. He's now about 72, 73 years old today. But when I played in the band, that was back in 97 through 2002. And when I was playing with Al, he and I wrote a song together. The very first song Al Jarreau and I wrote is a song called Tomorrow Today. And we performed it in France, in Paris. And the song had not been officially released yet. It was not out, and we played it at a very famous venue in Paris called La Villette, maybe 4,000 people. And the song has this very catchy hook in it. Tomorrow, today, does anybody think about tomorrow, today? That's this really cool rhythm that goes with this. So we end the song, and within seconds after we end it, the entire auditorium was singing, tomorrow, today, does anybody think about... 4,000 Frenchmen singing the song. And so, okay.
And you got them singing in English. That's awesome.
Al looked at the drummer and said, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. We all sang again. Tomorrow, today. This time, 4,000 people were singing with us. Wow. Then we ended the song. Tomorrow, today. They kept singing. This went on for about 15 to 20 minutes of starting the song, as an encore, stopping the song, and the French people kept singing it and singing it and singing it. And there was a moment where Al just threw his hands in the air, sat at the stage, and just looked at me with his eyebrows as high as you could bend them, and going, what? What are we going to do? They like the song so much we can't even get out of it. We can't even move on with the show. We can't even cancel the next song. We don't even have time for it. And
wow. Great story.
I'll tell you what, man, that was an amazing lesson in the power of music and how it can impact people.
Wow. Hey, we're going to be coming right back. That music signals that we've got a little break coming up for the commercials. This is a Changing Stage radio show with Freddie Ravel. Oh, great stories here. Stay tuned because we're going to be right back in a few short minutes.
Are you serious about your music? Are you ready to run with the big dogs? The experts at Pitbull Audio have the gear to get you into the game. From leading manufacturers like Mesa Boogie, Fender, Pioneer, and American Audio. To sound your best, you need the best. Pitbull Audio can deliver in rehearsal, on stage, and into the big time. Dropping beats, shredding guitar, or making the crowd roar. Whatever you dream, Pitbull Audio can help make it happen. We are Pitbull Audio. We want you to play it loud. PitbullAudio.com.
On the internet, your business's reputation can be unjustly destroyed in an instant. Don't wait for that to happen. Building and marketing your 5-star reputation can increase your business by as much as 19%. Take control of your reputation and have the 5-star reputation you deserve with Reputation Marketing Solutions by DSI Development. Become the go-to company by visiting 5starrepmarketing.com. The number 5starrepmarketing.com.
Has your business been appified? Are you tired of doing marketing that doesn't deliver results? Mobile apps build loyalty and quality retention. Your app from UPG Mobile puts your business on their mind and at their fingertips. UPG Mobile will give you a custom app highlighting how you are unique, targeting your message, and improving your open rates. Appify your business and amplify your presence with your customers at upgmobilemarketinggroup.com.
You've heard me bragging about Progressive Medical Center and how they've helped me feel so much healthier. But one thing, Dr. Agoli, that a lot of people come to you with is just unexplained pain. They just can't get any relief. Why can Progressive Medical Center's Pain Management Center help them?
First of all, we have to acknowledge that pain is for real, and you've got acute pain and chronic pain. Here's the problem. That acute pain turns to chronic, which is long-standing, and no one's getting to the root cause. There's several key diagnostic components that help us get to the root of what's causing this pain. Is it inflammation? Once we do a thorough evaluation to get to the root cause, determine if it's structural or if it's a metabolic issue. And this way, we put an individualized program for pain management involving correcting the spine, using certain injections when necessary, and we get our patients out of pain quicker, and they stay out of pain because we teach them how to live their life well.
Don't let yourself live in pain any longer. Get a hold of Progressive Medical Center today at progressivemedicalcenter.com.
Progressive Medical, this is your life, live it well.
This is Bill Gruber with BizVid Communications, a Southern California video production leader. We've been honored to sponsor, produce, write, and host many of the fine programs on WS Radio over the years. So we understand how important the internet and your website exposure are. As video producers, we know the tricks and secrets to incorporate video to increase your search engine optimization and business success. Visit bizvidcommunications.com to see what we can do for you. BIZVID Communications.com.
Talk to me.
Information, news, and entertainment on demand.
WSRadio.com.
Welcome to the Changing Stage, music gear talk from the manufacturers and musicians who define the biz. Here's your host, Florentino Buenaventura.
We are back. This is the Changing Stage radio show. My name is Florentino Buenaventura. I know that because I heard the announcer just announce that. And we are powered by WS Radio Networks, the worldwide leader in internet talk radio, and brought to you by SIR Music Equipment Rental and the folks over at Pitbull Audio, pitbullaudio.com. You got to get your gear from Pitbull Audio if you want to play with the big dogs, because they want you to play it loud. And we've got Freddie Ravel back with us. Freddie, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing great, Florentino. It's good to be here with you.
Yeah. Hey, man, it's kind of. I wish we could actually have the microphone going on when the commercials. We have some good conversations here, and we were just talking about your current album that you're just launching. If Music Could Speak. Yeah. So tell us a little bit about that album. How did you get inspired? What was the passion behind this?
Well, it's this album is really there's really quite a story behind it. I think the first thing to share with everyone is that when we recorded this album, we did not know we were recording an album.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's the opening line, man. I mean, we were not intending to make a record. Actually, what happened is I got a call from a wonderful television show known as The Hour of Power. It's been going on for over 29 years.
Yeah, I know that.
Broadcasting around the world. Yeah. You probably have heard of it. It's one of the longest. They call it the longest continuous running television show in history. Yeah. And I was invited by the Crystal Cathedral and the great Bobby Schuller to be on the show as a guest. And I said, well, I would be honored to be part of the show. And they said, well, you know what, Freddie, we want to interview you, but we also could you bring a couple pieces of music because we have an orchestra here. And we have a choir. And I said, well, okay, that's fantastic. I'd love it. And so I went down there, and there was a world-class orchestra. I'm talking about 25 pieces. Oboe, French horn, trombone, brass, trumpets, viola, violin, orchestral bells, timpani. I mean, a full-blown orchestra down there with a choir. And I brought in my own rhythm section. And we went and played and recorded 2 pieces of music. It went so well that they asked me to come back 3 more times. Each time they asked me, it was a different season of the year. So I ended up recording 2 songs, 2 for winter, 2 for fall, 2 for spring, 2 for summer, and then reciting a poem called If Music Could Speak, which is the title of the album.
Yeah.
And the entire record is live. There is no overdubs on this record. There's no computers on this record. There are no loops. There's no synth bass. There's no sequencing of any sort. The entire thing is live. And the entire thing is first takes. We had it remixed by a very famous engineer by the name of David Reitzes, who's mixed everybody from Whitney Houston to Celine Dion, and Quincy Jones and David Foster. He's a legendary engineer. And we had it mastered at Capitol Records. And the record came out in September, and it hit American radio just in time for the holidays. And we got 2 songs by God, and I'm knocking on wood as I'm telling you this, Florentino. We got 2 songs, got number 1 most added on the Billboard charts in December.
That's just totally awesome, man.
Yeah, I pinch myself when I think about it because, and I just want to encourage, all your listeners, all you great musicians out there, people pursuing their dreams, pursuing their passion, everything you do, everything you play, every gig you perform, every song you write, every lyric you do, make sure that you think of it as like the last song you'll ever write. I mean, put everything you can into it and practice, prepare, rehearse, and deliver it, because you have no idea where it's going to land.
Yeah, exactly. You never know when you're going to be making an album. You just might be doing it at that one gig that you just didn't realize, like yourself, sir, through a series of 4 gigs, right? And
that's it.
And you had a special guest on that on your album, an incredible bassist, as well as one of the seminal R&B funk groups. Your founder of that group, Mr. Verdine White. Tell us about that.
Well, Verdine is one of my very closest friends, and he's been a soul brother to me for over 20 years, and he was the one who introduced me back in 1991. He heard me, and he heard me at a live gig, and he approached me and said, "Freddie, I got to introduce you to my brother," meaning Maurice White, the founder of Earth, Wind & Fire.
Yeah. Voice for many years. Yeah.
About a week later, I was in the studio with Maurice, and we started writing music together, and we wrote a song called "Honor the Magic." This is in '91.
Okay.
And I ended up, they ended up asking me to serve as the musical director, and I got to tell you, it was truly one of the most glorious experiences of my life to work with that amazing band. And also, while Maurice White was still the leader of the band, if you will, kind of in his sort of final 4 or 5 years that he was still on the road touring with the band, and so I kind of was able to ride that wave where I had the original founder and be able to work with him, and do while he's playing his kalimba solos, and be able to jam off of that. So it was an incredible experience, and I have to tell you, to this day, we're very tight. We're in touch all the time. And when I was invited back to the Crystal Cathedral, Verdine said, "Man, I'd love to be part of it." And there he was at 5:30 a.m. in the morning, and laying down this incredible bass track, and in fact, that's the song that's going to radio now. It's a song called Blissin, Blissin.
Okay.
And it is, as I mentioned, we had 2 singles that went out at Christmas time. This is the 3rd single we're going for, and it's going to radio starting next week. And we certainly invite your listeners to check out Blissin. It's on iTunes, it's on Amazon. The hard copy will be available probably in about 2 more weeks through Amazon. Very shortly, people will be able to order the hard physical copy.
Okay.
But in the meantime, they'll be able to get the MP3.
Are you going to be going through other brick and mortar distribution, or are you keeping it online?
I think, people will be able to get it physically online through Amazon. They'll be able to literally order the physical CD. But at present, that's the way it will have it. There's about 30 different digital outlets that have it, and right now physically you'll be able to get it through Amazon. And that's what we have for now. And then we're putting together tours and things like that, and we'll have the album available at my live shows, of course. And that'll be the best way. The best way for people to get it would be through probably Amazon and iTunes.
Well, I can't wait till you come down to San Diego. I definitely want to go out and see you perform, man. It sounds like it's going to be an amazing show. Now, here's the unique thing. I feel sounds like it's been a very spiritual project for you, and obviously with the Crystal Cathedral and the Schulers behind it, and then of course, the Whites, they're very spiritual people. How has that guided you through this process? Because that's a big part of passion.
What a great question! Thank you. I think what it is, I think a lot of it has to do with trust and surrender, because you have to go, wow, if you're surrounded with people that have such a purity of intention, and they're surrounding you with a lot of love and also a lot of excellence. I mean, Bobby Schuller is he's one of the great pastors of our time, I think, and then you've got a wonderful organization there, and then you have these wonderful musicians that are they're putting their heart into every note. So I think, when you're sitting on stage with an intention, the word for that is potential. Like, you're sitting there, even before you've played the first note, you know that the potential and intention is love-filled and explosively filled with passion. You know that you've got rocket fuel.
Wow.
And so when you know you've got rocket fuel, you're real comfortable stepping on the gas. You're real comfortable putting your all into it. And so I think to answer your question is, when you're surrounded by excellence, you feel safe. And you go for stuff that you may not normally go for.
Yeah.
And I felt really safe, and I ended up, I have to say, the fact that we weren't even aware that we were going to turn it into a record, the performance has this sort of a very free feeling about it. Very free. Because you don't know it's going to become a recording, so you just play. There's no agenda. You just play.
You're just playing from the heart. That's definitely the case.
Playing from the heart, man. Just play. You're not thinking about radio. You're not thinking about, it's got to be 3 minutes and 46 seconds.
Yeah, none of the marketing specifics behind it. In fact, it's that time again for that commercial break. Hey, Freddie, hold on for us. And everyone listening, you make sure you hold on, because this is just incredible information. We've got actually some even cool, I don't know if it could be cooler, but this is a changing stage. We're with Freddie Ravel, powered by WS Radio, the worldwide leader in Internet talk radio, and brought to you by SIR Music Equipment Rental and Pitbull Audio. Be right back.
Are you serious about your music? Are you ready to run with the big dogs? The experts at Pitbull Audio have the gear to get you into the game. From leading manufacturers like Mesa Boogie, Fender, Pioneer, and American Audio. To sound your best, you need the best. Pitbull Audio can deliver in rehearsal, on stage, and into the big time. Dropping beats, shredding guitar, or making the crowd roar. Whatever you dream, Pitbull Audio can help make it happen. We are Pitbull Audio. We want you to play it loud. PitbullAudio.com.
On the internet, your business's reputation can be unjustly destroyed in an instant. Don't wait for that to happen. Building and marketing your 5-star reputation can increase your business by as much as 19%. Take control of your reputation and have the 5-star reputation you deserve with Reputation Marketing Solutions by DSI Development. Become the go-to company by visiting 5starrepmarketing.com. The number 5starrepmarketing.com.
I raised $8,000 to build schools for South African children. After realizing how many people go hungry in San Diego, I now volunteer at a food pantry.
I'm spending the next year doing volunteer projects across 3 countries and helping in ways they designate to be the most helpful.
The World Link program at the Joan B. Kroc Institute for Peace and Justice recognizes the potential of youth as agents of social change. Learn how you can help youth become a generation of leaders in action at peace.sandiego.edu.
You've heard me bragging about Progressive Medical Center and how they've helped me feel so much healthier. But one thing, Dr. Agoli, that a lot of people come to you with is just unexplained pain. They just can't get any relief. Why can Progressive Medical Center's Pain Management Center help them?
First of all, we have to acknowledge that pain is for real, and you've got acute pain and chronic pain. Here's the problem. That acute pain turns to chronic, which is long-standing, and no one's getting to the root cause. There's several key diagnostic components that help us get to the root of what's causing this pain. Is it inflammation? Once we do a thorough evaluation to get to the root cause, determine if it's structural or if it's a metabolic issue. And this way, we put an individualized program for pain management involving correcting the spine, using certain injections when necessary, and we get our patients out of pain quicker, and they stay out of pain because we teach them how to live their life well.
Don't let yourself live in pain any longer. Get a hold of Progressive Medical Center today at progressivemedicalcenter.com.
Progressive Medical, this is your life, live it well.
Which sandwich is healthy and tasty? Which sandwich can come on bread or in a bowl? Which sandwich comes 51 different ways, so it's always your way? A which sandwich. Stop into our shop in Hazard Center. We're upstairs from the Hazard Center Digiplex. Bring in your movie ticket. We will add a free drink and chips to your sandwich order. Or order online at which.com, and we will have it ready and waiting. WHICH, which.com.
Talk to me.
Information, news, and entertainment on demand.
WSRadio.com.
Welcome to the Changing Stage, music gear talk from the manufacturers and musicians who define the biz. Here's your host, Florentino Buenaventura.
This is the third segment of the Changing Stage radio show, powered by WS Radio Networks, the worldwide leader in Internet Talk Radio, and brought to you by Pitbull Audio, where they just want you to play it loud and you can get all your great gear. And if you need to rent gear, SIR Music Equipment Rentals, where all the players, I'm sure Freddie has used them probably on an occasion if he hasn't used his own gear. And Freddie, we're back, man. Third segment. Man, this is going too fast, brother. You got some great stories.
Oh man, well, it's a pleasure to be with you, Tino. It really is, and it's great. It's great to be with your community of music, music lovers and performers. It's an honor.
Yeah. A lot of players. It's the range of the folks listening are from people just getting into the business to the people that have been doing it for quite some time, and we've talked about some of the having some mutual friends in the business, and And funny thing is, we got mutual friends in other forms. I don't know if you know it. I used to work for Microsoft, and you've got a kind of an interesting segue into taking your music into a path that's kind of completely. It's a little bit different than going into the music business, but it is definitely the business. Tell us a little bit about the music of business.
The Music of Business is a company that I started 13 years ago. And it's the name specifically of a program that uses the structure of music and takes the structure of music and harnesses it as an application for organizations so that organizations can listen better, work more effectively, manage their time, have a better understanding of different roles within an organization. And these roles are mirrored in the way we as human beings make music. So it is called the Music of Business because it's taking the structure of music, and the structure of music, I'll give you a very quick explanation of it. If you think about virtually all forms of music, there's a melody, there's harmony, and there's rhythm. Melody, harmony, and rhythm are kind of the three pretty, in the vast majority of music, those three elements are present.
Correct.
And that happens to be true for any genre and music from virtually any culture. So the melody has a way of being the lead. Who's ever dealing with the melody is 9 times out of 10 the leader of the band. They're either singing it or they're performing it, like when I was playing with Carlos Santana, he's playing the lead guitar. We even call it a lead guitar, right? When I was playing with Earth, Wind & Fire and Philip Bailey was hitting those crazy high notes, he's the lead singer.
Yeah.
When Maurice White's standing in front of the band, he's called the band leader. Yeah. And the melody, usually, who's ever dealing with the melody, has got the spotlight on them. So who's ever dealing with melody is basically delivering usually the most important aspect of the lyrics and is spotlighted, and they're front and center. And so for that reason, the melody is intimately connected with leadership, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Right? Now, harmony is when one melody and another melody come together. It's really harmony is a production of two or more voices coming together produces harmony. And harmony enters the entire world of collaboration. And I might add dissonance. And dissonance is really important because without dissonance, you're not going to hear the music that makes the hair stand up on your arms. Yeah. You're not going to hear music that makes a tear come out of your eye, because you got to have a little bit of a rub to feel the tension and then the release. And that's what makes music beautiful, is a little bit of dissonance and resolution, or a fair amount of dissonance and resolution.
True.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? I mean, a distorted guitar has a big role in our music, and it's distorted. But distortion is so raw and crunchy and complex that it arouses a rawness when you hear it. Dissonance between two notes also arouses tension, but when it resolves, it moves you on an emotional level. So harmony and dissonance has to do with how we collaborate, or how we don't collaborate, or how we work out our collaboration, compromise, and resolve. That's harmony. When you go into rhythm, you start to talk about time. And everything about rhythm is time-related. At the end of the day, it's usually got a beat per minute to it, and it usually has to do with how the time is moving, how fast or how slow it's moving. So I use rhythm to teach the way people use time. Finally, when melody, harmony, and rhythm all come together, they manifest in what we call the score. And the score is the holistic sum total of melody, harmony, and rhythm all coming together. I call this whole thing, this entire process, the music of business. And this particular science, if you will, we have a patent on it. It's called human harmonics, because it's the way that the harmonics between human beings work together, and it parallels music.
Well, I think that's just amazing that you've been able to take this, and you've had some incredible companies that you've worked with this on this. In fact, as I mentioned, Microsoft, who I used to work with, is been one of the companies that have used this process and technique. Google, Citibank, even Andre Agassi I see on the list. So it's pretty amazing. Now, how do you, for one, how do you find time for all this stuff? Like I said in the beginning of the show, how do you find time to breathe? But how do you get the customers? How do you get these companies to be aware of this, this methodology? Because it's not something that would be, I would imagine, sought out at first. The way you use music to structure and to bring companies to perform at a higher level.
Yes, well, thank you. A lot of it, the initial beginning of all this, started as a result of 9/11 for me. Back 9/11, 2001, when that event happened, personally, I reacted in a way that I thought, you know what, I've got to do more than just make records and tour and play with other people. I got to do something more than that. And I began to speak. I began to develop a whole platform as a speaker. So I think the first answer to that question, Florentino, is speaking, learning how to speak. And when I got started, I was really rocky. I mean, I wasn't used to presenting. I was used to presenting as a performer, but not as a speaker. So that took me quite some time to develop, and I began working on a structure. And which is what I mapped out just a few minutes ago, so that I would have a blueprint that I could leave people. And once that blueprint was created, then I was able to, use it as a foundation to go into these different cultures. Like Citibank is its own culture, Morgan Stanley, Google, Apple, all of these different organizations. I've also spoken at NASA, Goddard Space Flight Center, the people who do the Hubble telescope.
Wow.
And so all of these organizations operate in different ways. And they all have their melody, and if you put the word melody in quotes,
Hey, Freddie, I hate to ask you to hold that thought. We're coming up on that commercial break time. Wow, we're going to continue on with this thought. This is the Changing Stage radio show. My name is Florentino Buenaventura. We're with Freddie Ravel, musician and business icon extraordinaire. We'll be right back. Thanks again to Pitbull Audio and SIR for making this show available, and we'll be right back in a very short few moments.
Are you serious about your music? Are you ready to run with the big dogs? The experts at Pitbull Audio have the gear to get you into the game. From leading manufacturers like Mesa Boogie, Fender, Pioneer, and American Audio. To sound your best, you need the best. Pitbull Audio can deliver in rehearsal, on stage, and into the big time. Dropping beats, shredding guitar, or making the crowd roar. Whatever you dream, Pitbull Audio can help make it happen. We are Pitbull Audio. We want you to play it loud. PitbullAudio.com.
Progressive Medical.
Hey, this is Heidi Rue, and you know, Progressive Medical Center has literally changed my life and my health, but I'm not the only one. Adele suffered from bone deterioration, bone overgrowth, profound muscle discomfort, physical exhaustion, and mental fog. In fact, the bone deterioration becomes so serious that she had to have back surgery. Well, after the surgery, she still didn't feel well, and so that's when she heard about Progressive Medical Center. Progressive Medical Center discovered that her adrenals weren't working properly, her hormones were out of whack, and the drugs she'd been taking were doing more harm than good. Adele came into Progressive Medical Center in a walker, physically and mentally exhausted. But now she's a world traveler. She hikes and walks several miles a day, and it's all thanks to Progressive Medical Center. 770-676-6000. 770-676-6000.
Progressive Medical. This is your life. Live it well.
Take a break from politics. Tune in and learn something. WS Radio shows are worth your time and are filled with tips and advice. Add us to your lunch routine, and we'll give you a meal for your mind.
Do you want to be a professional coach? Are you in business trying to make a real difference with people you manage or work with? Have you started a coaching practice that isn't quite getting off the ground? Get the skills you need to be a successful coach today with the Coaches Training Program from Accomplishment Coaching. The Coaches Training Program will show you how to help others focus and be more fulfilled. Whether you want to improve your company's bottom line or create a thriving coaching practice, Accomplishment Coaching can give you the distinctions and practices you need to coach others effectively today. Accomplishment Coaching has spent 6 years developing a cutting-edge coaches training program that will have you ready to coach people professionally in just 12 months, and you don't have to take time off work to do it. To find out more about the Coaches Training Program, just call 1-888-548-6813. That's 1-888-548-6813.
Hi, this is Rob Barnett, VinVillage.com, where wine lovers connect. Be sure to tune in weekly to Vin Village Radio for exclusive, in-depth interviews with the who's who in wine and food.
Talk to me.
Information, news, and entertainment on demand.
WSRadio.com.
Welcome to the Changing Stage, music gear talk from the manufacturers and musicians who define the biz. Here's your host, Florentino Buenaventura.
Righty. This is the fourth and final segment for this lovely Saturday of the Changing Stage radio show, powered by WS Radio Networks, the worldwide leader in internet talk radio, and brought to you by Pitbull Audio, where they just want you to play it loud and get the gear that you deserve to have. And if you need to rent gear, SIR, Music Equipment Rentals, are always there for you. In fact, that's where all the pros go. Freddie uses them, Michael Boddicker, everybody. It's pretty much the place if you're going to be a pro for using and renting gear. Freddie, we were just we were just talking about this incredible kind of it's still music, but it's not necessarily the music business that you're doing. It's the music of business, And you had some thoughts you were finishing up on some of the companies, and then we talked a bit about during the break your kind of one-on-one sessions with some of these business leaders.
Yes, we have. Well, as I was sharing with you, we have this methodology, right, of the way music is structured, how the melody, harmony, and rhythm, by understanding the deeper aspects of those areas, we can achieve a score, and the score is the sum total of music beautifully made, but it's also the sum total of business beautifully executed. And in many ways, there's great parallels between the entrepreneurs of today and the way great music is put together. And so I do have a few CEOs, CFOs, upper management. I do have single entrepreneurs that are launching their own businesses that I have about 3 a month that we have room for, that we do one-on-one, we call them Star Power sessions in my private studio here in the Los Angeles area where we're based.
Wow. And tell us what's involved with the Star Power sessions.
Well, the very first thing is you will be astonished at the fact that the vast majority of people are not clear about their own melody.
Yeah.
The melody is your mission statement. It's your passion and your purpose. It's the reason you get out of bed and get excited about something. And if you're not clear about what your purpose is, just about everything else you're doing, even if it's making you a living, will at the end of the day feel empty and lost. So understanding where you take your lead role in any situation of life, whether it's the way you run your business, the way you work with your coworkers and your colleagues, even the way you are with your family and your friends, you need to have an understanding of what drives you and how you're expressing that. So that's stage number one, is getting that melody in tune. And then harmony is how you collaborate with people, how you listen to them. And then rhythm is how you manage the time to get melody and harmony delivered.
Exactly, and the math that goes along with all of the fun things that kind of make this all up. So yeah, that is awesome, and you've obviously had some of the top leaders that have partaked in this venture with you, and kind of becoming inspired by the music. What's kind of interesting. This whole process wouldn't be a typical music industry vertical, if you will, using kind of the business vernacular. Tell me, this is such a crazy market that we're in right now. We heard it on the Grammys. Obviously, you didn't start this because the market's where it's at right now. You started this, you said, 12 years ago. How does this play into all the dynamics of releasing records, having a parallel career that works in tandem? How can the listeners see themselves making a living in this current market and in the way you did, where you're bridging two different worlds?
It's a lot of it is how you position yourself. I mean, the city of Los Angeles presented me with an award a few years ago, and they called me the keynote maestro. So, and we ran with it. We use that as kind of a marketing handle, so people understand that I deliver keynotes, but I also use the music to tandem that. So exactly like you said, Tino, if you do two things, then you got to give people how you do those two things. And then, of course, the name of my new album is If Music Could Speak.
Yeah.
And I speak and I perform music. So, and If Music Could Speak is a poem, a spoken word, that is the last track of the album. That gives the reason for doing what we do with music, The opening line is, music's the great invitation for mankind to transcend spoken word, to enhance how we think and put into sync so we hear what is mostly not heard. So that's the opening line. And that to me is what music's about. Music is about transcending spoken word It's about enhancing how we think. It's about putting into sync so we hear what is mostly not heard. Meaning the stuff that you deal with on day-to-day life, the stuff you hear on TV, commercials, the stuff you read on the internet, the stuff that you deal with, that's all spoken and hits you in a certain way. Music gives us another portal to experience life. And I believe music gives us that opportunity to express things that cannot be put into words. And that is really the basis of linking spoken word with the art of making music. And to me, I don't see them as two careers. I see them as a hybrid whose time has come. I see it as something that all of us in the music industry can embrace. And it allows us to be even bigger. In other words, you're not just a singer-songwriter. You might be a singer-songwriter, blogger, social cause commentator, radio broadcaster. You might be all these different things.
I could relate to that because I play bass in a band, Curbside Vinyl, and we're kind of doing the same thing. We're putting out music and we're driving the radio station with a bigger focus towards entertainment. So I really can relate with what you're saying, and I think that is pretty much the way the industry is going. Is that you kind of got to look outside the box, if you will, and try to find other areas that you're passionate about and how those passions can be driven through those different vehicles that are out there for you, as long as they're all kind of working in tandem. I think that's big, and you're the perfect example of that, sir. You are the consummate renaissance man when it comes down to all the different things that you're doing and being able to kind of keep them all on optimum. So,
well, thank you.
Well, hey, thank you for doing that for us. And a couple of things I want to find out is there I really want to see you in concert. Is there a calendar that people can look at to find out?
Yes. Thank you, Tino. Yeah. Well, one of the things that's happening is I'm now managed by the same people who manage Keyboardist Yanni, and we are working on some big things that are brewing right now. But the most immediate thing I have that's open to the public, because I have a lot of engagements that are private, but the next one coming up, especially if you have a lot of listeners down in San Diego or any of your listeners on the West Coast, I will be in Los Angeles at Herb Alpert's beautiful venue called Vibrato. And it's a beautiful club. It's in Beverly Hills. Mulholland and Beverly Glen is the cross streets. And I'll be there on March 15th, which is coming up in a couple weeks on a Sunday, 6:30. And it's just a beautiful room, 7-foot grand piano, beautiful food, beautiful lighting, incredible acoustics. And I've got a wonderful band with me. Great guitar player from George Benson's band, Michael O'Neill, Tiki Pasillas, who plays drums, cajon, percussion, and sings like James Brown. And he is frequently playing with Mark Anthony and Jennifer Lopez. And then a great bass player by the name of Eric Baines, and a great singer. So I'll have my power quartet, and I would just love to see you and Wade and your listeners if they can make it. And all the good SIR and Bulldog people too.
There you go. Yeah, it's just hop, skip, and a jump from San Diego. That would be awesome. I'm sure SIR will probably have some gear there. I imagine Herb's using them. And you know what? I also wanted to let all the business people that are listening right now know if they want to have your services, manager at FreddieRavel.com, and that's FreddieRavel.com. We've got about 50 seconds left, Freddie, and it never is long enough, especially with someone of your incredible talent and experience. What would be the last thought you'd like to leave the listeners with today?
You're working with lightning in a bottle when you play music. It is one of those rare things on planet Earth that is the undisputed international language of the world. You're working with, without sounding, to me, it's a piece of God that we get to work with every day. It's like a piece of clay that we get to mold. And so I just want to say, relish it, drink it up, share it with everyone you love, and share it with people you don't know, see if you can raise the endorphin level for people, because that's what music does.
Well, Freddie, thank you. You're an amazing, talented man. I really appreciate your time today. And this is the Changing Stage Radio Show. My name is Florentino Buenaventura. We are powered by WS Radio Networks, the worldwide leader in Internet Talk Radio. And thank you, Pitbull Audio and SIR, because you guys rock. Freddie, thank you, sir. You are amazing, man. Looking forward to talking to you again soon.
Are you serious about your music? Are you ready to run with the big dogs? The experts at Pitbull Audio have the gear to get you into the game. From leading manufacturers like Mesa Boogie, Fender, Pioneer, and American Audio. To sound your best, you need the best. Pitbull Audio can deliver in rehearsal, on stage, and into the big time. Dropping beats, shredding guitar, or making the crowd roar. Whatever you dream, Pitbull Audio can help make it happen. We are Pitbull Audio. We want you to play it loud. PitbullAudio.com.
Thank you for listening to WS Radio. Improve your business and your life with useful information from experts and thought leaders. WS Radio is radio with ROI.
You may have heard me brag about Progressive Medical Center and just how much they've helped me with my health. And Dr. Goley, one thing that you have helped so many people with is migraines.
Unfortunately, there are millions and millions of Americans who are suffering with migraines and headaches, and they're debilitating because it affects the quality of their life, and they cannot function properly. At Progressive, we get to the root cause because we understand that migraines could be caused by nutritional deficiencies, hormonal imbalances, believe it or not, delayed food sensitivities. And once we determine what the real reason is, we put a plan of action together with medication that we get them off slowly, and we put them on an all-natural approach, and the results are amazing.
Incredible. I mean, there's so many people that can say they don't live their lives with migraines anymore thanks to Progressive Medical Center.
And that's what's exciting and rewarding to us as physicians, because we help our patients take control of their health, and that's why they're living well.
Why don't you get a hold of Progressive Medical Center today? Don't live in pain. Don't have migraines anymore. Just go to their website, progressivemedicalcenter.com.
This is your life, live it well.
In the military, things can change in an instant. At Navy Mutual Aid Association, we understand because it's our life too. That's why our dedication to serving the life insurance needs of our military veterans and their families is unrivaled. Navy Mutual offers superior life insurance protection without military service restrictions and limitations. A single focus on providing the peace of mind military families are looking for. That's what we do. Navy Mutual, insuring those who serve. Call 800-628-6011 or go to NavyMutual.org.
Hi, this is Rob Barnett, CEO and founder of VinVillage.com and the Wine and Dine Show on Vin Village Radio. Do you have a wine, event, product, or service to promote? Then contact VinVillage.com to reach thousands of wine lovers across the country. VinVillage connects like-minded wine enthusiasts with unique and exclusive wines, events, products, and services. To learn more, contact us on VinVillage.com. VinVillage is where wine lovers connect. Hi, this is Rob Barnett, VinVillage.com, where wine lovers connect. Be sure to tune in weekly to Vin Village Radio for exclusive, in-depth interviews with the who's who in wine and food.